So after 43 bajillion hours later, I have finally arrived at my quarantine hotel, and I hope this video can help those prepare to come to Shanghai soon, and also answer some questions that anybody that might have about this whole journey back to Shanghai from a high-risk country like the US. And it all starts on December 20th, in my case, lab day. My first task that I have to do is getting my COVID test, the PCR IgM for China, and I went to a laboratory called Lab Q in Brooklyn, and I got stabbed 5 times. So make sure you drink a lot of water when you do your IgM antibody testing, which is different from the PCR. PCR is when they swab your nose. IgM is where they after December 23rd, they will need to draw blood. So 10 a.m. in the morning, December 21st, I am still awaiting my results in terms of getting the green code, my HDC green code. I got my lab results back around 11 p.m. yesterday, which is December 20th. So it took like the turnaround time was pretty quick. And now I submitted it, but then because I'm taking my flight with Lufthansa, which is stopping at Frankfurt, Germany, the airport, to get tested again before heading back to Shanghai, so this is a tip, I need to submit a schedule appointment, a screenshot of that, in order for them to further process me for the HDC green code. If you are traveling, if you are transiting from a third country, make sure that airport has a COVID testing facility, and you have enough layover time to complete your COVID testing and submit it to that country's embassy, because you have to do that again in order to get a second HDC green code for foreigners. So for your whole journey from, in my case, New York to Shanghai, transiting in Frankfurt, I would need to take in total 4 COVID tests. So 1 PCR, 1 IgM in New York, and then another PCR and IgM in the Frankfurt Airport. And then in total 2 HDC health green codes. So I would like to mention there has been a lot of confusion between the 48-hour before departure versus the 2-day window. In my case, and this is from, I emailed the NYC embassy, the China embassy. In my case, they said they followed the 2-day window rule, but I would just email your embassy and see what the rule they follow, what window rule they follow. So it's currently around 1 p.m. and I finally got my green HDC code. So I'm ready for my journey tomorrow at 4 p.m. and see how it goes. So I'm currently in the waiting area to depart, and I just wanted to explain my experience checking in. So my flight is at 4 o'clock and I checked in at 1 p.m. and there weren't a lot of people. And the agent that was checking me in, she was really confused with the process. So she was like, do you have the green code? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. But she was really confused. Then I went through the security check. Everybody was wearing a mask. They were 6 feet apart. Also, I haven't seen anybody wear the PPE outfit, but I've seen a couple people wearing this face shield that I have. But everybody's wearing a mask. just finished doing the PCR portion of the testing at the Frankfurt Airport. So they are two separate companies. So PCR testing is through a company called Sentojin, and IgM is with another company. So you gotta make sure to pre-book them before you come here. I couldn't pre-book IgM, which is completely fine because that's the test that takes the quickest time. But make sure to pre-book your PCR testing, and they open at 8 a.m. You line up, and instead of the swab going in your nose, it goes down your throat. So prepare for that. Also, when you finish your testing early like me, so right now it's around 8:15. I finished it really early. I still have to wait at the transit testing area until 10:30 because that's when the IgM service opens. So keep that in mind. It's currently 11:50 a.m. I just got my IgM done like an hour ago, and surprisingly it went by really quickly. If you have pre-booked an appointment on their specific company website and it's not on the date that you wanted, it's completely fine. They re-register you on the day that you're gonna depart. So I pre-booked my appointment December 28th, and I'm not flying December 28th. But when I went in and they re-registered me, they were like, oh, that's completely fine. We'll just give you, they give you this form to sign, and basically it's first come first serve. So at least that's what happened to me. So it's currently 5:40 p.m. and I finally received my health green code. So I received my PCR test around 2 o'clock, which is exactly 6 hours after I got tested, 2 p.m. And then for IgM, I'm supposed to receive it. Well, at least the nurse told me I was supposed to receive it at 3 p.m., but I didn't. And people around me that is boarding on the same flight as me currently was freaking out. I was freaking out, but around 5:20, everybody got their blood test. And you don't have to wait for the embassy. If you're doing your testing at the transit area of Frankfurt, once you submit for your HDC code, it automatically approves. So you automatically get your green code and you can board on the plane. So I wish I could have gotten some clips of what the testing center looks like in the airport, but I couldn't. And the testing part in Shanghai Pudong Airport versus the Frankfurt one was much more uncomfortable. Like, the nurses there, they are ruthless with these long cotton sticks. They shove it down your nostrils till it touches your throat basically, and you have to do on both sides of your nose, and another mouth swab. But after that uncomfortableness, all you had to do is hand in your test sample to the person when you walk out of the testing center, and then you go through immigration check, which is the same as it was before, and then you go claim your luggage, and after that you go out, and then that's when they start separating you to which part of or which district you're heading to. But this time, instead of neighborhoods, which I thought divide us in, it's more like, is it called district? It's like if you're not in the Shanghai district, then you go to like Anhui district or Zhejiang district. But if you're in Shanghai, whether it's Pudong, Putusi, it doesn't matter. They will just randomly put you in a group, and off you go to that hotel that you're randomly put in. So your hotel might be really nice or really bad, like mine. So it's just really random. And that's pretty much it. I highly recommend taking Lufthansa. It works. I mean, it's a long journey, but it works, and there weren't any complications at all. And I hope this video can help.